Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie and thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join me for a little bit of discussion about minimalist struggles. Today we are going to be talking about letting go of hard things because some things are super easy to declutter and some things really just get you in the feels. So if you enjoy minimalism, decluttering, intentional living, healthy eating, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so you can be sure to be notified whenever I make a new video. So I think everybody has those things that are just really hard to let go of. I know in the KonMari method, Marie Kondo recommends a specific order of going through your belongings from the easiest to the hardest at the end, which are sentimental items. If you guys are interested in learning more about the KonMari method or seeing me work through it, I'll go ahead and leave a link for you guys above so you can check out my KonMari decluttering series. Even after going through the KonMari method, I still found that I had some things that I didn't necessarily want to keep, but I didn't necessarily want to get rid of. And these were all in the kind of sentimental items category, and they didn't really fall under the 20-20 rule, which if you guys haven't heard of that, it is if you have something that you're keeping just in case and you can replace it for under $20 in under 20 minutes, you can go ahead and just let that item go. So the first thing that's really hard are my scrapbooks. I used to be a big scrapbooker and I have quite a few scrapbooks full of photos and memories, but they do take up quite a bit of space and I don't really look at them very often. So I'd already gotten rid of most of my scrapbooking supplies, so that was done, but I did recently go through my scrapbooks and was able to do some decluttering, which felt really good. So to declutter my scrapbook, I used Marie Kondo's idea that when you're doing photographs, you don't do an entire album, you think about each picture individually. So I went through each of my scrapbooks and I went through and I looked at each page as a whole as opposed to the entire book, and I was able to let go of some of the pages. I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation, sometimes I take pictures of random landscapes or buildings or something that I might find that they're pretty in the moment when I'm on the vacation, but those aren't really the pictures that I want to go back and look at. I was really able to declutter quite a bit from our Disney scrapbooks because I'm a Disney annual pass holder now. I don't need pictures of Spaceship Earth because I can go there whenever I want to. So I was able to combine some of my scrapbooks into a fewer albums, and I was able to let go of a couple of empty albums, which was really great because all my scrapbooks now are in one bin. The other thing that I'd really been struggling with determining what to do with was all of my historical costumes. I used to be really big into historical costuming. My husband and I were very active at the Ohio Renaissance Festival. We went all the time. I had an entire wardrobe of Renaissance outfits to be worn in a variety of temperatures and seasons, and when I lived in Ohio, I got a lot of use out of these items and I really loved them. Now that I'm down in Florida, there's a couple of things that make some of these items difficult. First off, the weather in Florida, very different than Ohio. I do not need any wool costumes in Florida. It is not cold enough for that, ever. And I also don't live near any big Renaissance festivals down here, and I haven't been able to find any costuming groups that are close enough for me to participate in regularly, so I really haven't used any of my costumes. We do have one very small new Renaissance festival that takes place in my county, and last year we didn't even go. So I decided that it was finally time to let go of quite a few of my costumes, but I went through and I let go of all of my costumes except one. I kept one Renaissance costume to wear if I ever want to go to the Renaissance Festival. One of the things that really helped me finally decide to let go of these costumes is that I have lost a significant amount of weight and my body shape has changed, so they probably weren't going to fit me anyways. It definitely took a long while to get to there, and I think it's okay. If you have something like that where you put a lot of time and effort or money into it, and hand making these costumes, there's kind of like blood, sweat, and tear equity in there, and so those can make it really hard to let go of. It's okay. Give yourself time. Try letting go of maybe one and see how it feels. That really helped me to be able to let go of a couple over here and a couple over there, just smaller ones that maybe I wasn't as in love with, and realizing that they're probably not going to fit me anymore. And if I did have some kind of costuming event to go to, I'd probably want to make something new anyways. So some of my tips for letting go of hard things are giving yourself time. Just give yourself the space and the time to declutter. It is great to go through, like in the KonMari method, and declutter a whole bunch of things at once. But if there's something that you're having a struggle with, it's okay to take your time and just keep revisiting that item to see whether or not it's something you actually want to keep. My second tip is to consider each item individually and not as an entire collection. It is very, very common for us to think about things as collections or sets, and then we feel like we have to keep everything. And you really don't have to. You can go through each item individually and determine if it's one you want to keep or not, even if you don't have the full set anymore. My next tip for letting go of hard things is to be really realistic about what you want to sell, what you're going to be able to sell, and what is going to be worth the time and the effort you put into selling it. I know for me that can be something that really trips me up is, well, I don't want this, but I want to sell it, but I don't have time to sell it right now, and it goes in the sell pile, and the sell pile just kind of keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point in time, you really have to be really realistic about what you're going to sell and what you're not going to sell. Give yourself a time limit, a certain period of time, and say, if this hasn't sold in that period of time, I'm just going to donate it. My last tip for getting rid of hard things is don't start with the hard stuff. Start with the easy stuff. Baby step your way into making those good decisions. If you're looking for an order to go through your items in your home, I really do recommend the KonMari method. It has a really great order, and it's very well organized and structured to help you go through your items and make decisions and really help build your decision-making skills. So those are my tips for dealing with the minimalist struggle of getting rid of hard things. Let me know down in the comment section below, what is the hardest thing that you have ever decluttered, and what was the tipping point for you in being able to let that item go?